Okay, now we've gone to the next step. As you can see, I've brazed this ring onto here, and it fills in this gap rather nicely. I think you can see that on the video. It has a the radius in here is rather tight. It's like a, oh, I don't know, 1/8 inch radius maybe. So the key point is that when you go to fit this together, it sits nice and flat when it holds onto that. So it's not going to be sitting up too tall. You can see it kind of lays right in there. Before, when I tried it with welding, you can see this is just a much thicker bead, and it just stands up way too tall. So now we got this piece on there. That fits like so, and you can kind of see that little ridge there, right there. I took the time and I filed this nice and flat so that when it sits again into the cylinder, it'll seal it. And then also the O-ring sits on there, and that's what does the real sealing. But the idea with the metal is we want to have that good and flat so that when it compresses this, none of those hot exhaust gases can get at that rubber directly. So it just has a seal pressure instead of an actual flame front. So that's the idea with that. So now our next step, now we've got this welded, is going to be to go ahead and take this and fit that onto there, and then start tack welding all these pieces up. Then that will form the header, and then from there we can start to bolt it up and start working the individual pieces so that we can progress the pipe. And now that we have the brazed joint all prepped and ready to go, we're going to go ahead and we put this flange. You got to make sure you put the flange on before you weld it. Then we're going to go ahead and weld the L2 joint to the L1. We're going to tack that in, and then from that point we will take number 3 and place it on top and continue along. I wanted to show you a little trick that we use. It's called the welder's finger. It's pretty basic. It's basically a piece of pipe. See, I can show you the rest of it there. Held with a pair of vice grips, and it just leans up against the side of the piece. Just a basic prop. But it does a pretty good job. That way you can get it positioned and go ahead and get it tack welded in place. As you can see, I got my second and third piece tacked up, and we're going to go for number 4 next. One more detail I wanted to make sure that you guys knew about. If you take a close look at the throat of the pipe, the way it's developing, these joints right here, the way the cone sections are laid out, the shortest section of that throat should always be lined up. In other words, the shortest distance of any of these cone sections should all stack. And if you do that, the radius of the finished pipe will turn out. And we're going to move on to section number 4. And here's another tip for you. You can never have enough vice grips. Here we got the extra long throat model, which really comes in handy because it can spread open nice and wide to fit some of the other parts. Because as you can see, this is just one piece. They get pretty fat once you get to the belly section, 110 millimeters wide. So having a big set of grips like that really comes in handy. Let's see, we're on our 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on our 5th piece. One more piece, and the header will be tack welded. And then we'll proceed to the diffuser cone section. And once again, right now we're just tacking. Just enough to get some good solid short welds to hold it together, and then we'll tweak it from there. Okay, now we're going to refer back to our cardboard mock-up, our prototype of the header and the first few sections. I've got the header completely tacked, and it's fitted on the bike right now. And one thing I wanted to show you is that we kept on lining up the throats of each section so it was the shortest distance for every piece until we get here to number 6. I don't know if you can tell, but we've jogged over this section right here. This one angles a little bit. It turns it actually towards the right, so it's cocked just a little bit. You can kind of tell at that angle there. Also, number 7 right here. Number 7 it is also cocked just a slight amount to this one. The reason for that is tweaking the angles on this was a little difficult, so rather than make a couple different pieces, I really didn't need to. As long as I turn this one and turn this one, the angle works out right. Now these two sections here, this one has an angle on it when it meets up with the area we're going to call the belly section, but this joint here is straight. There's no angle on this and there's no angle on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop from going piece by piece on this, and we're going to go ahead and weld this joint up and this joint up so it's a straighter piece that I can go ahead and fit underneath the bike, and that will make it a little bit easier to go ahead and line things up to clear the monoshock underneath the bike and wiring and anything else. So we're going to go and do that section next. Okay, now we're to the point where we've got the header elbow here. This is bolted up to the bike, and I've got this joint here tacked. It's a little wider than what I'd like to be, but unfortunately it's the spot I need to use to make a small angle adjustment that I need to do. And then I've got this piece here tacked and this one as well. So what I'm going to do next is form up by there's another miter here, and then it starts traveling up to the belly section behind the kickstand. So that's what's going to come up next. Okay, we're back again. I got a little ahead of the videotaping on this one. As a matter of fact, I kind of finished the pipe as far as tack up is concerned. But the one main thing I wanted to point out is that this section that goes from here up to here is important in the fact that how this piece is rotated to find this tack point is critical, because that affects the angle and the clearance of the kickstand and everything else. Once you get that one determined, it's the rest of it's really easy, because then all you have to do is fabricate up this belly section onto the end of it, and then the last three pieces is this cone, and this cone, and the only critical part there is to make sure that you line up the shorter throat dimensions to each other so they make the tightest possible bend. And once you have this assembly made up, then it's just a matter of putting that up against this one here and tacking it on. And it fits the bike pretty well, and I'll put it on the bike and let you show you how. And here's a picture of the pipe tack welded, and it's fitted onto the bike. You can see it just clears the kickstand. I'll probably have to drop this down just a fudge, and it looks like it's going to clear the chain okay. We'll see. I may have to relieve that in the backside to give it chain clearance. We'll see. It's pretty close to, I think. And one of the last steps we'll do later is from this point right here, be a bracket that will come down and grab onto this, and there's going to be a muffler mounting flange that I'll weld on the end. I haven't fabricated that yet, and that flange will both be welded on here, and then the muffler canister will bolt on from there. And that's kind of what the first pipe looks like. Fits up there fairly snug. Doesn't sit very much lower than the monoshock at all. A little bit lower, but it'll certainly clear all the stock bodywork, and probably any aftermarket bodywork too, I would think. Except for me, I don't know, this belly section, it depends on what kind of bodywork you're going to use, but for stock it'll definitely clear it. So that's the first pipe all tacked up, and we're going to get ready for fabricating all the pieces to make the second lower pipe. I'm not going to show any video of that. It's basically the same thing as this one, only the angles are twisted on the opposite sides just to make it fit the right hand, not the left. But then after that, the next video you're going to see is I'll probably show you what some of the pieces look like when they're laid out in the flat, and then how we roll them and weld them. And we'll go to that next.